So this week, we thought this whole episode is going to be about virtual challenges. And I've written a blog post about virtual challenges. And I asked on our Facebook page for people to share their reasons for doing it and their motivation for doing virtual challenges this year. Obviously, as we know, most of our races have been cancelled. So we've been looking for different challenges. And I think that's been one of the good things that's come out of COVID, really, isn't it? The fact that these virtual challenges have happened, and it has given people a real interest in doing it. And it was quite a few people said that they never ever thought of doing a virtual challenge. In fact, we've got an interview with Mark Laithwaite coming up in a few minutes on this podcast. And Mark said that he just thought it was an excuse to sell medals initially. But he's got caught up with it as well. And I think the majority of people who wrote that had similar things. You know, maybe when they first thought of it, they thought, oh, what's the point? I don't need that. You know, I can run on my own. I don't need to have a virtual challenge. But once people got into it, then they've really enjoyed it. But there was three things, Eddie, that really came out from most of the comments. One was the sense of community. And I think people have just really enjoyed being part of something bigger than themselves. So particularly in lockdown and when you can't meet up with others, just knowing that you were part of a community all doing it. You know, the one community had 4,000 people running, didn't they? James, you interviewed him. We'll play that in a minute. And then I think the Lakeland one, they had about over 2,000. The West Highland Way one that I was involved in, we had, you know, over 1,000 people. So there was big communities of doing that. And I think that's what people really loved, just feeling as though they were part of a community. The second thing that came out from most comments was that sense of challenge, motivation. And for some people, some of us, we needed something to work on. I know the thing that really helped me was I've never done a 100-mile week before in training. I've done it in races, but I've never actually just done a 100 miles. So when I did the Lakeland 100, it was 105 miles, and I had to run 105 miles in a week as well as working. And I found that really interesting exercise to do. And I think a lot of people found that motivation, that focus for that week, maybe doing something a little bit different that they'd not done. And quite a few people said they liked having something that's going to stretch them, because if your challenge was to run, say, 40 miles in a week, a lot of people do that every week. It's no big deal. So to find something that was going to stretch them, I think that's what they really enjoyed, having that challenge. And then the third thing that came out was the charity aspect. And a lot of races that we're involved in provide money for charities, whether people are sponsored or whether the organizers put a percentage of the money towards charity. And I think both the ones that we feature in this episode, the Lakeland and the One Community, both gave a significant amount of money of the entry to charity. And I think people really enjoyed that, especially in these days where, you know, we recognize that charities are struggling because there's not so much things going on for them as well. So there was those three things: that community, that challenge, and the charity. And I think you've probably shared those as well, didn't you?
Yeah, totally. I mean, to be honest, when the year started, if someone said the only races you're going to do are going to be virtually sharing on Facebook and Instagram, I'd be like, no way, whatever, never going to do that. But I've absolutely embraced them and I've loved them. And it is exactly what you said. It's because we need something in our lives. As runners, we need a focus, don't we? And we need a challenge, and we need to think that we're constantly improving and we're constantly stretching our boundaries. And every single one, I've done the Centurion 100-mile week, which I didn't find the running that hard, running the 100 miles a week, because, you know, I said before, I'd normally run about 80 miles a week, but that little bit of extra and then dealing with the kids, I was like, this is insane. I was insanely tired. Wouldn't want to do that every week. And I did the vert week as well. So I climbed 40,000 feet in a week, and it was a really hot week, and it really broke me. And I was like, why am I so driven to do this? And it's exactly what you said. It was that sense of community. It was that need to push myself and to challenge myself. And then alongside that, the fact that the entry fee, some of it was going to charity. And we're just thinking about things that were bigger than COVID, and it was just taking the mind out of that, wasn't it? And we both run, and we both do these ultras, and we probably pick our races as well to see our mates and to hang out with our mates and, you know, mess around and have good chats and stuff. And that's what's been missing. And in some ways we've been able to recreate that in the virtual world. So kudos to race directors. James talks a little bit about how unexpected he was when they got almost 4,000 people to sign up, because the platform they created on the this computer thing, you do all that stuff, John, it wasn't ready to take that many people. So they had to sort of press buttons, I guess. I don't know what they did, but the uptake has been great. And I think it's saved a lot of people's well-being, and it's brought a load of new ultra runners into the community who perhaps were a little bit frightened of doing a race and seeing what they can do and see what their partners do and bring families together. So all in all, I apologize for my thoughts about virtual racing starting. It's totally changed my mind to it, and I'll be doing some more. I'm definitely going to Lapland to visit Santa this December.
Yeah, I think the other thing that was really good was that I know with the West Highland Way we had a presentation online live at the end of it. I know Mark with the Lakeland, I was involved in helping him with that. And each night they had Foxcast, and they had loads of people on and interviewed people. And I know James did he do a daily podcast?
Yeah, he did a ridiculous podcast, but I loved it.
Yeah. So
you listened to it because just bringing everyone together,
I think all that side
isn't it?
of it really helped as well, just to keep things together.